Also, to the listener, if my microphone sounds weird, if you hear some purring in the background, if you hear any weird noises, it's because my cat won't leave me alone, and I
He's
love him too much to like get him to stop.
it's really sad that
So
they can't see what's going on. And like,
it's
because he's just headbutting the microphone and
he
rubbing
is,
his
and
bum everywhere.
I have these little cute little clips on my microphone stand, and he keeps knocking them off.
Because of big old head. Ridiculous behavior, but
Take these
we're
right
fine
off
with it.
now.
Yeah, just attach
It's
him to him.
fine.
Just give him the butterflies.
That's a great idea. Let me do that.
Yeah, I mean he's here. Might as well.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Blair.
And I'm Kirsten, and we are
Mediocre
mediocre
content.
And I think this is the last episode before the end of September. Are we going into October already? Oh my god.
Yes, we are. Super
Ugh.
fun.
Is it? It's kind of scary.
Mildly scary.
Mildly.
Oh
Well, it's
my
just
gosh.
perfect for spooky season.
It is. It is. Also, to the listener, if my microphone sounds weird, if you hear some purring in the background, if you hear any weird noises, it's because my cat won't leave me alone, and I
He's
love him too much to like get him to stop.
It's really sad that
So
they can't see what's going on. And like,
it's
because he's just headbutting the microphone and
he
rubbing
is,
his
and
bum everywhere.
I have these little cute little clips on my microphone stand, and he keeps knocking them off.
Because of big old head. Ridiculous behavior, but
Take these
we're
right
fine
off
with it.
now.
Yeah. Just attach
It's
him to him.
fine.
Just give him the butterflies.
That's a great idea. Let me do that.
Yeah. I mean, he's here. Might as well give him a little butterfly. But I hope everybody's doing good. It's not, should I say, convenient to have a cat and chat. But that was a pun, and I hope everybody
It was.
enjoyed
It
it.
was a good pun. I
Thank you.
appreciated it.
I'm glad. Oh, he's so upset about it. Get this off of me, mother. I did not consent. That's what you get for being next to the microphone.
It looks so cute. Look at it.
It does kind of look cute. Cats, man.
Mm.
We're not even talking about cats today. In fact, the good news has nothing to do with cats.
It does not.
Yeah.
Should we disclaim really quick?
Sure. Oh yeah, sure. We should.
We gotta do
probably
that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So before we get started, we are not experts on anything. If you have come to the podcast to get any kind of advice, we are not the place to get that info. But we are the place to learn about things. And if you care about this topic today, you might learn some things. And feel free to check our work, because we don't research things as thoroughly as we should, but that's because we don't have time, because we have jobs and cats and husbands and
hence the mediocre
wives.
part of the
Yeah.
name.
Right. Yeah. So we keep it, we
Keep it
try to
real.
keep it real over here, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Kirsten, take it away with the good news. I'm going to try and manage this cat situation.
Please do. I'm going to be managing a double dog situation. We have two super cute news stories about some pretty amazing puppies. And the first one is super exciting for a couple of reasons. Number one, dogs. So whatever. Number two comes out of Portsmouth, Virginia. Huge shout out
Ooh,
to...
I know where that is.
Yeah, the ye old home state. And the last thing is the dog's name is Moose. And if you don't know, I also have a personal Twitch account called She's the Moose. And that just really resonates with me.
So cute.
So cute.
Moose is such a cute dog name.
Honestly, did you remember? I'm so sorry. At Sweetbriar, the English teacher that had the Brindle dog named Moose.
Yes.
Yes.
What was his name? But I know exactly who you're talking about. Yes.
Everyone thought he was. This is a huge shout out to all the Sweetbriar girls that thought he was hot.
That attended from 2012 to 2016.
Yes, yeah. And he was the English teacher. He was I think, was he? I don't remember his name. I am so sorry. He was a great English teacher, and I honestly had a lot of fun in that class. Doesn't matter. His dog's name was also Moose, and he was a brindle dog, and it was so cute. He looked like a Reese's cup.
He did. It was
very
very cute.
Anyway, this Moose dog. Overnight, Moose went from a foster dog looking for a new home to a hero. In Portsmouth, Virginia, the Portsmouth Humane Society has a program called Paws Around P-Town, which is such a cute name.
That is a cute name.
That allows community members to take a dog out of the shelter for the day. In early August, Chris Kushna, Sheila Janes, and their family checked out Moose, a Great Pyrenees. Shout out to Great Pyrenees. My mom has one. Hi, Bowie. And had so much fun that they kept him for a second night. Early the next morning, Moose began pacing and panting, waking up the kids who realized there was a fire on the houseboat next to theirs. And
oh my God.
I know. And the family and Moose escaped right before the flames reached their own houseboat, which is amazing.
That is amazing.
The family says, we credit Moose for getting us out. Moose is living his best life. He truly deserves it. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep Moose, but there was a family living nearby on a farm that heard about his heroics and like immediately adopted him. So great news all around for Moose.
We love that. Good job, Moose.
He's a hero. The second dog news. A stray dog named Scout escaped from a Michigan shelter 3 times and always went to the same place, the lobby of a long-term medical care residence down the street. There is an administrator of Meadowbrook Medical Care Facility named Marna Robertson, and she said, I'm a person who looks at outward signs, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. The staff decided to adopt Scout, much to the delight of the residents. To each and every one of them, it's their dogs, said the coordinator, Jenny Martinek. Scout enjoys going from room to room for treats and hugs, but also senses when people need comfort and has been with some residents during their final hours. I think he knows that this is his home and he is all of ours, so that gives him a sense of security, and I think he just wants to protect that, said Administrative Assistant Rhonda Tomzak. And that's just
so nice.
Super nice, but also super sad. So I'm so glad.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad Scout is there to be with the residents there.
That's amazing. No, but that's like such a good idea to have a nursing home dog, because they don't have to take care of it because they can't, but they still have like someone they can call their pet and they can come and like cuddle and, you know, all the pet things.
There's a couple of programs I've heard about recently in different areas, one of which was like a senior care facility that the residents could volunteer for holding babies of mothers that were in like issuous care, or maybe the baby was surrendered or something, so that they could bond with the baby and like the seniors could hold a baby, which is so heartwarming.
That's so nice.
And also there was a local humane society that would bring animals in that were up for adoption to hang out with the residents and socialize with humans and in large groups, so they got used to it. But of course, that's also super therapeutic for all of the senior citizens at the home. So
definitely
great programs. Nice. So if your area doesn't have one of those, maybe suggest it, because it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
And that's all I have for Double Dog News.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So what are we doing? It's great.
So what we're doing is we're talking about convenience stores.
So fun.
If you listen to the golf episode, I think towards the end, Philip, Kirsten, and I had a lovely conversation about Wawa and Buc-ee's, or maybe that was during the break. I don't think it was included in the episode, but we definitely had a conversation about it. But then during the end of the episode, I mentioned to Philip that we might do the convenience store episode because he had such a good idea.
It is.
And so that's what we're doing today.
Amazing. How amazing. I'm ready. My body is ready.
Yeah. So we're going to start with a brief history.
Woo.
So as we all are familiar, especially if you live in the United States, stores open 24 hours are not outrageously common, but like everyone's heard of the 24-hour Walmart.
For sure.
But in addition to that, there's 24-hour convenience stores. Of the 152,794 shops listed by the National Association of Convenience Stores, which we'll get into in just a minute.
Who knew that was
90%? Oh yeah, it's a thing. 90% are around the clock operations. New York City alone houses upward 1,500 independently run bodegas, which are very famous. Everyone has their corner of bodega. If you've never been in a bodega before, sometimes there's a cat there, and there's an Instagram called the Bodega Cats, and it's amazing. Just all of the bodegas and the cats that live in them. But it's, it's very popular.
Yeah.
So Jeff Leonard, the vice president of the National Association of Convenience Stores, credits the Southland Iced Company with the birth of the modern convenience store. In 1927, Uncle Johnny, aka Jefferson Green, ran the Southland Ice Dock in Oak Cliff, Dallas, where people would come to stock up on foot-long freezing blocks of ice that they carted home to refrigerate their food. This was before refrigerators, obviously.
Obviously.
Unlike the local grocery stores, the ice dock was already open 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. So he was like, why don't we just sell milk, bread, and eggs too?
Why not?
Yeah.
The biggest why not.
Exactly. So the Southland Ice Company saw potential in Uncle Johnny's idea and merged the operations at various locations under the extended schedule of 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., bringing into the zeitgeist 7-Eleven.
Nice.
Yes, in 1946, to be specific.
Perfect. That's a staple, honestly.
Yes. It would take 36 years for the company to adopt the 24-hour model, and when it did, it was an accident. Following a football game at the University of Texas, customers flooded the 7-Eleven in Austin. It couldn't close, notes the company's website. The store stayed open all night, so successful that was the inadvertent model that always open 7-Elevens began to crop up intentionally. The first all-night outpost was in Las Vegas, which is not surprising.
Not at all.
This is the path to an all-night retail that is most clear-cut, a series of happy accidents capitalized upon by one company, but more 24-hour operations existed elsewhere before 7-Elevens in Las Vegas. In 1939, Rose Gold, what a name.
I know. Right?
A 67-year-old candy store owner in the Brownsville neighborhood of Brooklyn, was arraigned for perjury and racketeering. The article on her arrest in the Brooklyn Daily Eagle described her store as ordinary looking. Oh. Her neighbors were surprised at her arrest, but when prompted, the owner of a nearby deli admitted, sure, they kept the place open all night. No one would have witnessed anything suspect. So I'm assuming she got caught because her candy store was open 24 hours.
That would make the most sense to me. What the
Across the country, the Hollywood Ranch Market also had around the clock reputation. Even prior to 1952, its sign proclaimed, "We never close." Time magazine that's from a Time magazine article from January of 1952.
Good grief.
Quote, "It has thrown the key away, employs 3 shifts to stay open 24 hours every day, including Sunday," which was unheard of at the time. Mm-hmm. It finds its stores almost as crowded as 3 a.m. as 3 p.m., which honestly, that's pretty impressive to have a bunch of people in there at 3 a.m.
That is pretty impressive. What are they doing at 3 a.m.?
So this particular store in Hollywood, apparently, if you weren't working, you would go to this particular convenience store at 2 a.m. because Marlon Brando and Harry Belafonte and other stars would take their wives there to avoid the movie star crowds at the grocery store.
Fair. Okay.
But everybody knew this, so then they got, crowded with a bunch of people anyway.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. Cultural shifts occurring nationwide also bolstered the move toward 24-hour retail in a way that the activity on the coasts could not sustain on its own. President Eisenhower signed the Federal Highway Act in 1956, authorizing the interstate highway system and 41,000 miles of new roads, all of which required round-the-clock fuel for both cars and their drivers. The Tonight Show with Steve Allen, this was before Johnny Carson, premiered in 1954, encouraging viewers to stay up past midnight. Americans were working later hours. Leonard says that early 24-hour stores tended to open by places like factories and hospitals where shift work was becoming more common. And the same Time magazine article noted speeding the trend is the fact that the defense program drawing more and more wives into the labor force makes it harder for women to shop during the day.
It's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. There was no reversing this tide in 1972. The Milwaukee Centennial took note of the uptick both in cities and suburbs. Nationwide, 4% of supermarkets with more than 500,000 in yearly business had switched to 24-hour schedules. What kind of people shop at 3 a.m., the article asks.
It's literally what I want to know.
Yeah. Store owners said that they get a cross-section. People avoiding the late afternoon jam in the store and on the highways, families with a car available only for shopping at night, women whose husbands are home from work taking care of their children, and someone who needs milk or aspirin in an emergency, partygoers buying snacks sometimes several times during the night,
Also
men
fair.
coming off late work shifts, and families that want their whole day free for recreation, and even some insomniacs.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's a brief history.
Nice.
What we're going to talk about now is the National Association of Convenience Stores, because when I read that at the beginning, I was like, I got to know more about this organization.
Absolutely. The fact that it's even a thing is hilarious to me.
Right. So it's located in Alexandria, Virginia.
Oh,
yes.
really?
Close to Washington. Keep that in mind. The leading global trade association dedicated to advancing convenience and fuel retailing serves as a trusted advisor to over 1,300 retailers and 1,600 supplier members from more than 50 countries.
That's insane.
A member-driven organization, the NACS is led by a 29-member board of directors comprised of convenience retailers of all sizes from all over the globe.
All over the globe? Oh, because it's national. Oh,
it's
my
international.
Gracious. Even
it is
weirder.
Yes. And keep in mind that it's interesting because when I was researching convenience stores, and it's always tied in with like oil.
Right.
It's almost like a prerequisite. Like you have to have a gas station as well as the convenience store, which we know that there are standalone convenience stores, but like 9 times out of 10, there's usually some kind of like gas pump, right?
Yep. Wawa is notorious for giving you non-gas pump stores, which drives me bananas.
Right.
I need both, okay?
So it's interesting. That's the first like kind of like red flag almost for me. I was kind of like, this is interesting. This is interesting. So the NACS serves the convenience and fuel retailing industry by sharing ideas and insights in its award-winning publications, including the NACS magazine and the Convenience Matters podcast.
Not sponsored.
The Convenience Matters podcast has 404 episodes.
Wow.
And all the episodes are only like 20 minutes, maybe even a little bit more than 20 minutes long.
Oh,
the description of the pod says that the convenience stores sell 80% of America's fuel and make up for 4% of the total economy.
I mean, at least in America, that makes so much sense considering how often we are in a car.
Right.
To do anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So, let's see. So there are more than 1 million convenience stores across the globe. the United States alone, there's 150,000 which conduct 160 million transactions a day and have annual sales of more than 906 billion
a day.
Yeah. So that's annual.
Well, I mean,
Annual
like,
sales, but like
160 million a
yeah,
day.
a
That's
day.
insane.
The NACS plays a critical role in conducting a dynamic scan of global strategic industry issues and sharing insights across the country. It also provides the resources, education, and training necessary to help global convenience and fuel retailers prepare for the future. In the United States, the NACS communicates the convenience and fuel retailing industry's voice before Congress and federal government agencies on a multitude of issues, from motor fuels to data security to taxes. The NACS also tells the industry's story to reporters and journalists across the country and develops videos showcasing retail innovation.
I saw this, sort of.
Okay.
Not attributed to the NACS, because I had no idea what that was until right now.
Mm.
They essentially, in terms of showcasing retail innovation, do this wildly in Japan with the cashierless convenience stores.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen those? Like the self.
I have.
It's crazy.
They're really cool.
It has to be them, right? It has to be them because it's international.
Right. So I think the vibe now, it's not like on their website they're like, we lobby the government, but like the vibe is we lobby the government on behalf of the oil industries,
right?
And also we have this vast network of people who own convenience stores, which are like huge corporations.
Yeah, in their own right, for sure, considering how much they spent, how much they make a year. Yeah,
right. So
interesting.
That could be very true. Like, I don't know, the media that we're consuming may not be directly from the NACS, but it could be put out there by the NACS.
Right, like orchestrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it?
So I mean, this is not a conspiracy theory podcast, but like this is very interesting to me. Just like, because 80% of the oil sales goes through convenience stores. So this group has a lot of power in terms of like regulating things for the retail stores, you know?
To be fair too, though, part of the issue is, again, just kind of, I mean, I know we harp on America, but we live here, so we know the struggle, right? But part of the issue is we have to have things like this because it was built out of necessity, essentially, and it is still a functioning piece of society because of its necessity.
Right.
And to a point, that could be orchestrated too. So, you know, you have a commute because that's how convenience stores make money. Because if you're not you're not stimulating the economy if you're not driving to work back and forth every day. And the resorts and vacation spots are far away from you in other states. So you have to drive or fly there. So that, again, promotes that. So, you know.
Well, and public transportation doesn't stop, so you can get out and get a coffee.
Correct. So,
you know, and, you know, walkable communities are no help.
Right.
Either.
So, yeah, big picture.
Just thoughts.
Thoughts and feelings, man.
Just thoughts and feelings. So anyway, I also was looking up, like, how do you become a member of this thing?
Yeah.
And so you can become a member as an individual. You can also become a member as like a retailer or a supplier.
Oh.
So for the individual, it's called a friend of the NACS. And what you do is you don't have to pay any membership dues. The other ones, for like retailer and supplier, you do have to pay membership dues. And to become a friend, the benefits include right to vote for designated representatives on the NACS board of directors, complimentary subscription to the magazine, complimentary subscription to NACS Daily, which I think is like a newsletter.
There's a
And
magazine?
yes,
Are
there's a
those still a
magazine. They
thing?
have like a whole like media department.
Wow.
You receive an exclusive insight into what's happening in Washington, D.C. They will provide you with quarterly reports about the efforts on the behalf of your industry and on developing issues relevant to your business, and will let you know about your opportunities to attend events where you can personally make your legislators aware of your concerns.
Interesting.
So this, I think, would be for somebody who like owns their own convenience store.
Right. That would make sense to me.
The other thing is they have so I was like trying to see like who's in this group.
Yeah.
But like if you're not a member, you can't see it. You have to like
Oh.
log in and everything.
Mm.
So I like, because you would think it would be like, Wawa,
Right.
what 7-Eleven, Walmart, even, like so, and once you log in, I think it's like $500 to pay for the directory or something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's kind of silly.
Yeah. And they have a bunch of like on the website, there's a bunch of different like educational tools that you can't access without like being a member. But like there's newsletters and articles and like all kinds of stuff like that you can access.
It's so interesting that you said Walmart, because that made me think like Walmart and Stop and Shop, if you're near one of those, Kroger, they didn't start out as quote convenience, but now a lot of them, especially the Walmart markets and stuff, they have their own branded gas stations now.
Right. So we're getting to that. Which is
crazy, because you don't even think about that, but it's true. They orchestrated
and
it.
There's all of these grocery stores that you can, if you pay for groceries in the store, then you get a discount on gas.
Yes.
Costco's gas is like notorious for being super cheap.
Isn't that crazy?
So anyway, yeah. So in the next half, we're going to go over some individual convenience stores, but I just thought that was like interesting. You get a little bit of history, a little bit of like the national convenience store landscape, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the first half. We'll go to break and then we'll see you in the second half.
How convenient.
Hello. This podcast is sponsored by the Tooth Fairy, Santa, the Easter Bunny, Dracula, the Keebler Elves, Jack Frost, Bugs Bunny, Winnie the Pooh, Bigfoot, and the Loch Ness Monster.
Thank you for your continued support. If you are interested in sponsoring mediocre content, please contact us by Owl or Seance. No, but really though, you can contact us at mediocrecontentpodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter at mediocresquawks, or Instagram at mediocrecontentpodcast. Also, if you like these fake ads, or if you're sick of them and want real ads, rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts.
Now back to the show. Welcome back. We're here at your convenience.
It's amazing how many convenience store puns you can make in one podcast. And this is simple. It's simple.
I think we're on a roll, honestly.
I think so too.
Okay, so let me see. Yeah, I'm going to just pull up this link really quick. Okay. Muy bien. Okay, so I found a list of all of the convenience stores and like ranked by how many stores there are, and also like by sales in 2022.
Perfect.
So the list is put out by the Convenience Store and Petroleum Group. And basically what that is, it seems like a convenience store info for convenience store bros is how it comes off. It's very much like, I think it's a media conglomerate, because basically they're just like putting out like content about like they have a newsletter and another podcast, and they've got like articles, and they track like how each convenience store conglomerate is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So and basically the list is CSPs, convenience store and petroleum. Top 202 details the largest chains in the convenience store industry. Welcome to a deep dive into the C-store landscape. And that's why I think it's broy, because it's like C-store. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, right.
Come on, guys.
That's weird.
I know convenience has a lot of syllables, but like C-store?
I mean,
jeez.
You gotta stay relevant.
I guess. So anyway, basically, so this is, again, this is some of the stores that were ranked by store count and how it operated and how much it made as a franchise as of 2022.
Okay.
So, numero uno on the list is 7-Eleven.
Go figure.
It is among the world's largest and most widely recognized and iconic retailers, both inside and outside the convenience store channel. 2022 was a quiet growth year for 7-Eleven. The previous year's $21 billion in acquisition of Marathon Petroleum Speedway chain of nearly 3,900 stores. So 7-Eleven bought 3,900 stores. And then laid off, and then into 2022 in July, they laid off 900 members of the corporate and support staffs.
Tough year.
Yeah. 7-Eleven is based in Irving, Texas. It operates 1,300 convenience stores in the United States. And so I guess 9,500 of those 13,000 are under the 7-Eleven banner.
Okay.
And then 3,800 are under the Speedway banner. And 500 are under the Stripes flag, which is a different convenience store I've never heard of before,
I guess.
Yes. So 7-Eleven is the big one.
Yeah.
Now we're not going to go through the whole list because there's 202 on the list, and that's like way too much, and we're not doing that. So I kind of went through and like looked at the ones that I had seen. And since you and I kind of like grew up in the same area, have traveled in similar places, I feel like these will resonate with you as well. Feel free, after listening to this episode, come to our live Twitch stream or comment on our Instagram all of the lovely convenience stores that you hold near and dear to your heart. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So number 9 is Wawa.
Ooh.
Number 12 is Sheetz,
which has superior sandwiches to Wawa. But anyway.
Well, we'll hash that out in the discussion section. Okay. 14 is Love's, which I included because it's like a well-known truck stop and you can take a shower there, which is cool.
Nice.
15 is Racetrack. 30 is Royal Farms. 31, Giant Eagle Convenience Division. So Giant Eagle, I know because I lived in Pittsburgh. It's a grocery store. But it's interesting that a grocery store is included on this list because they do have gas stations. I could not find like Walmart or Costco or anything like that because I think it might be under some other kind of like corporation name.
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
There's a lot of really obscure, like weird names on this particular list. Some of which are only like oil companies, for example, like Lee's Oil Company. And I'm like, that's not a convenience store. I don't know. So like I don't know.
Yeah,
It's weird that that's like how they decided to list it. Um,
fair.
or there was like a double listing of like Childers Oil Company as well, like slash Double Quick, which was like the convenience store
Right,
half of
right.
the oil company. So I don't
Yeah.
really know.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was hard to tell like what
It
some of
could,
these qualify as like independent convenience stores, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, if it's like Oil, my guess is that they just that's the brand that owns it, like the parent
Mm-hmm.
company. It might be displayed as something else.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
So anyway, just a little caveat there.
yeah.
Um, and then number 45 was Shell.
Nice.
Um, number 153 is Bucky's,
Pussy.
which is very much a popular one on TikTok right now.
It's
So
great. It's fantastic. It's very
yeah,
overwhelming.
yes.
Hmm.
And there's not very many of them, which is probably why they're 153.
That's fair. They are climbing higher though, so just
Yes. Yes, they're
just
having a
be
moment.
they are having a moment. I think it's part of their popularity, honestly. So it's an
Also,
experience.
fun fact, number 111 is 7-Eleven Hawaii, which I'm like, why
Hmm.
wouldn't Hawaii be part of the regular 7-Eleven?
Hmm.
But actually, the Hawaii 7-Elevens are not franchised by the United States conglomerate in Texas. They're an offshoot of Japan's franchise,
Which is
which
far
totally makes
superior.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it is far superior. And it makes sense because Japan is, I don't know if it's closer to Hawaii, but it's definitely like
Yeah.
not,
Could be.
it's like kind of in the middle. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Ironic though.
So, yeah. Some other things that I noticed from this list is that a lot of the companies use in as a word, like the letter in.
Hmm.
So like
Hmm.
grab and go.
Yeah.
So a lot of them use in as the preposition the.
I also enjoy the ones that instead of like QUICK, it's KWIK for quick. Like they
Right.
really
Yeah,
thought they
exactly.
were
Yeah.
ingenious. They
Right.
really thought they were unique.
Yeah. So fun little things like that. The other thing is I and maybe this is because we can discuss, but all of these ones that I find familiar are from the East Coast, or I've seen
Hmm.
them on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I have not seen a like prominent convenience store chain on the
Hmm.
West Coast. And I know that I did get a Tesla before when I moved here. So I'm not really frequenting the
The
gas
gas
station
station.
market
Fair enough.
here. But I feel like if there was something like a Wawa or, like a Royal Farms or something, like people would talk about it and they don't.
They don't.
So I don't know.
Um, that's a fair question. Maybe I can see like maybe they have like okay, hold on. All right, all right. Let me take a look here. So there's the 10 largest convenience stores in California based on location. So remind me, are you near the top or the bottom of the state?
Pop.
The top. Okay, so for you, oh wow. Okay. So ironically, there's supposed to be a 7-Eleven and a Circle K, which Circle K is another one
Oh,
that I've
Circle
seen a
K.
lot.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Speedway, which is so Speedway is just like the S's that are all like
Mm-hmm.
strung
Mm-hmm.
together. Quick Stop is I think a Kroger brand. Because it has like it's like
The
so it's
Kroger
like
K.
it it has like the diamond with the primary colors in the corners.
Okay.
You'd know it if you saw it, I feel
I
like.
would. I would. You're right.
You'd know it if you saw it. But those appear to be the main largest ones for
Okay.
you, apparently. But the other one is like one I also have never heard of, which is Extra Mile and Couche-Tard, which sounds like a slur. and I don't like it that much. Couche-tard, really?
You're right.
Or maybe an insult. Oh, you're such a couche-tard. Like,
Yeah,
what is that?
weird.
Maybe I'm just pronouncing it wrong. It's probably better than that. But either way, looks like 7-Eleven, Speedway are your main one. Circle K also.
Circle K. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I think then it's fair to say that East Coast has better convenience stores.
Maybe. I wonder. I mean, there's lots of debate for that because of Texas and Buc-ee's. So,
yeah,
because the East Coast is just now like the only other one I've seen is in Tennessee, and it's just being built.
Buc-ee's. There's one in South Carolina.
Yeah, it's still pretty south though.
I know, but that's East Coast.
Yeah, but it's how like, so for example, the ones that I've seen physically have been, well, Tyler's seen the one in Texas, Alabama, Tennessee, right? And then you said South Carolina, but it's not like I'm seeing them up in like North Carolina,
right?
Virginia.
So
it's
this
just
is my
weird.
this is my criteria for
Okay.
if there's one on a ocean bordering state
Girl math.
on the East Coast, then it counts. That's what I'm
math.
going with.
It's just
Yeah, it's
okay.
girl math. Right. No,
Yeah,
exactly.
But they are climbing, and I think the more that they inhabit, like if they get to Tennessee, Kentucky's next, guaranteed. So they've just got to shift slightly east.
Kentucky Buc-ee's.
It would be so fun to say. Oh my gosh, Kentucky, you'd have to do it just for that.
I know.
That's perfect.
I don't know. Mitch McConnell may not have that nonsense over there.
No Buc-ee's here. That'd be sad.
So yeah, with that, let's discuss. Okay. What's your favorite convenience store? What do you like the best if you had to choose?
If I'm going on, I have two criteria.
Go ahead.
So if I'm going on convenience, like literal what is closest to me,
sure.
It would have to be either Wawa or Seasons. Seasons is a brand that we have here that is kind of like a scaled down Wawa. But Wawa is most prevalent in terms of the larger ones here, or Royal Farms, but nobody goes there. Anyway, the second criteria is just preferential, and that is Sheetz, which I do not get to go to very much.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, we would drive to Tappahannock every now and then, and there was a Sheetz there that had the best sub sandwiches, and that is literally the only thing I remember it for. It was fantastic. And those are the ones that I really prefer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So overall experience, Sheetz.
Yeah, I would say.
Okay.
Buc-ee's is just too overwhelming.
I agree. Buc-ee's is in its whole other category. We're not even considering them.
Yeah. Honestly. Is it really convenient? I don't know.
No, it's more for the spectacle. It's more for the Instagram. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
Buc-ee's is a destination. Buc-ee's is not a convenience store.
Agreed.
So, okay. So I would say for my best overall experience, I'm going to have to go with Wawa. Okay. I would have to say. And that is because there always seems to be one when I need it.
Like that's what I'm saying.
Sheetz is always Sheetz is obscure to like the western part of Virginia, I feel.
Yep.
And then so Wawa is like always there for me when I need it. They have a good variety of foods.
They do.
And it's not all crap.
True.
So that's nice. And I think their gas is like reasonably priced. So
yeah, it's hard for me to judge any of them on gas because I need, as a gas car driver personally, either way I'm gonna have to buy it, and I currently live on an island, so the options quite limited. So
yes, that's fair.
In terms of prices, I couldn't really tell you, but I could agree on the food part. Yeah,
I think, well, and that's honestly, as a professional passenger princess, I'm really only rating these on like food and bathroom. Oh, that's
I was
the other
gonna say
thing.
the bathrooms are usually really
Bathroom in
clean.
Wawa is usually like pretty good. And there's multiple stalls, so you're not like waiting for the bathroom key in this like random, convenience store.
7-Eleven could never.
7-Eleven could never. Absolutely not. I will say, okay, so that's good. We have our overall picks, both Wawa.
Correct.
That's fair. All right. So, best convenience store food item, and we can even divide this up into categories. So, like
Okay.
best entree situation, you kind of already touched on this. Dessert and snack.
You go first. Let me think about this.
Okay. All right. So, entree, I would say Sheetz has always come through for me in terms of like, because they always have like hot food available. And there have been many a drunk night where I have gone to the Sheetz near my college and eaten hot food, including fries and tater tots and like all the things. And since we did end up attending a school out in the middle of nowhere, Sheetz was like the one that always came through for me. So I'm going to say that for my so we would I would get, there's like burgers and like all kinds of like things, anything off of that like hot menu that you order off the little iPad thing.
Right.
Super good. Always came in clutch, like did the job. Very good. For dessert, I'm going to have to go with the classic Slurpee.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Because it's timeless.
They
always have, the flavors are touch and go. But like, if you go into a 7-Eleven and the Slurpee machine is working, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get myself a little Slurpee because you have to.
You have to.
It was the treat growing up, honestly.
Yep.
And yeah, so you have to pick that.
Yep.
I think a close second would probably be those little, have you seen the For Real like milkshake machine things? Yeah. Those are pretty good too.
Well, I think the last time I saw someone use one, it got stuck and I was turned off forever.
Oh no.
So I never got to eat one. But
so growing up, they put in a Royal Farms in our small little town.
Nice.
And it was like a game changer. Like everyone loved the Royal Farms. It was a huge deal. Like, and if you talk to my in-laws, they will say that Royal Farms has the best fried chicken ever. And but like we would always go in there and I would either get like a Slurpee or I would get one of those like milkshake things and they were really good.
Nice.
Now, snack is very hard because there's so many different snacks. And this also kind of touches on like the whole, what is my favorite junk food situation.
Right. Yeah. That's why it's hard for me to think about it. Cause I'm like, well, technically these are just kind of my favorites anyway. And I would just grab them as a road snack, So
yes, I agree. So I think, because like I can get Doritos and like chips and stuff from any like grocery store. So that doesn't count. I think what I would do, because I've only ever purchased combos from a gas station type thing on a road trip.
Fair.
So I think I would have to say the pizza flavored combos.
Interesting.
Would be my favorite convenience store snack.
Because I would say, now I would get, it's probably so gross to some people, so I apologize in advance. But specifically 7-Eleven with the roller taquitos or the fire chicken like things that were on the rollers that looked like hot dogs but were not.
Yeah.
Those were peak with nacho cheese. And honestly, that's just kind of, it's such a guilty pleasure, but I honestly would eat them to this day.
Yeah.
They're probably
I forgot about the 7-Eleven taquitos though. Those are so good.
Yeah, they are good. And I agree with the Slurpee. I'm not really a big dessert fan, so that's kind of difficult. So I would say just a Slurpee.
Yeah.
But honestly, there is something about buying a convenience store Diet Coke that also just hits different. And I don't know how to explain it, but something about
Like from the fountain or in a
either.
in a
Honestly,
bottle.
either.
Okay.
Because I think it's like imagine you're about to go on vacation, right? And you're like,
Mhm.
oh, we're on the road. We need road snacks. We need a road journey snack to join me on this
Yeah.
experience. And I pick out the Diet Coke and I pick out a bag of chips or bugles, if you will, so I can wear the
Bugles.
fingernails.
Mm.
And that just slaps. It's like the joy of going on an adventure with your favorite snack. And I think honestly that's what makes it taste better.
No, you're so right. You're so right. Oh my gosh.
The experience.
Well, and that's the other thing is
Yeah.
like on a road trip with your convenience store snacks, you can go out of your comfort zone.
You can.
Better, like, because they have all the individual flavors in an individual sizing.
Right.
So it gives you an excuse to like try a soda you may never have had, or try an energy drink you may never have had.
Right.
And it just like opens up all these different possibilities.
These
and
stupid doors.
It's a 10 out of 10 experience. Yeah.
It's so freaking true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And now we're in road trip pod.
Oh, road trip pod. I love road trips. Road trips are the best.
I know that not everybody does. They're like, I could just fly there. And I'm like, yeah, but the experience of being on the road.
The thing is I love being in the car.
Yes.
I don't even mind driving. It's not like I have to be, in the passenger seat. I love driving. Yes. I love being in the car.
Yep.
There's just something about like it's like it calms my anxiety knowing that we're on the way, but we haven't made it there, and I've had to deal with all the other things that happen when we're there. You know, it's just like a fun little transition period.
It is because it's the stress of prepping. Then you get this lull before arrival, the stress of arrival and settling, and then the joy of just experiencing where you are.
Yes. No, exactly. Yeah.
And that's the
I'm glad we're on the same page about that.
I know.
That's the best.
It's such a good experience, though.
It is. Yeah. It's the best. I love
good
this
vibes.
For us. Okay, we're going to continue.
Good vibes all around.
This is the best. Okay. So we've already kind of talked about the ideal convenience store experience.
Yeah, we're
nailed
like
way past that. Okay, so would you rather go to a convenience store with a gas station or a grocery store with a gas station, and why?
The grocery stores. Okay. I will say if you're looking to save money, the grocery store gas stations, to your point, often end up providing a point system for discounts, which is really nice.
Yes.
Most standalone gas stations do not do that with their convenience stores. I think there's like maybe nowadays there's like promotions or whatever, but realistically, if you're looking for gas specifically and you have one of their grocery membership cards or whatever they are, probably that. But we have so few to choose from in this particular place. We just go to a gas station with like a standard convenience gas station situation because we don't have the Stop and Shop. They have one, and our BJ's doesn't have one. So it's kind of like, you don't have.
So follow-up question.
Yeah.
When you go to the convenience store for gas, are you like one of those people who has to go in every single time and like look at all the things, or do you just get your gas and leave?
We just get our gas and leave. The only time that we physically go in is if we're going on a road trip.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
Same. I would say like both things serve different purposes, right? Like if you need to get your groceries and get gas, like why not? And then obviously there's like the incentive depending on if they provide points or if you have a Costco or BJ's membership or like whatever it is. I would say though, I think I would rather go to a convenience store gas station because depending on the parking lot situation,
True.
the grocery store parking lot can be
Ugh,
lit, and
you're
it
right.
is, and you have to wait in line to like get your gas.
Yep.
Depending, I mean, if you're going on like a Tuesday in the morning, then you probably won't have any problems. But like,
Yeah.
most people go get their groceries and everything like on the weekends when they have time.
Yeah. I would also say
So
like convenience store
yeah,
gas stations are sometimes larger. So they have more room for you to be
exactly. Because that's their
around.
sole purpose, is like the
Exactly.
gas station. Yeah,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I agree.
I feel like be- I feel like the only reason we even have an opinion about this is because we live in America.
I know.
This
I
is pretty
know.
deep for a convenience store episode, but I think again because it's so ingrained in our culture, because it has to be, it serves such a big, high density
Right.
purpose. Like it makes
Right.
sense to have opinions about it.
Well, and yeah, that is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like when I was over in Germany and like Europe, I barely saw a gas station.
Well, and that's the other thing, because similarly, like those videos about Japan and like their amazing 7-Elevens, it's not like they're accompanied by gas stations. They're literally just storefronts with
Right.
groceries and snacks and foods and things like that, because
Right.
they walk everywhere for the most part.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense
Yeah.
to have them connected in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
There are actually like where my parents live now,
Mm-hmm.
um, there are two 7-Elevens that are standalone that I can
Wow.
recall.
Really?
Yeah. And so their sole purpose is just for the convenience store thing. There's no
Huh.
gas or anything.
Like I said,
Yeah.
Wawa's notorious for that. I hate going on a road trip and it's like, oh, Wawa, a mile and a half, and it's just the convenience store. And I'm like, I've needed gas for 300 miles.
It's been 84 years.
It's so true. I also love, this is such an aside, but I feel like it's related all the same. The thing that I love about the Northeast is the fact that they have service plazas on the highway that
Oh, yes.
because sometimes what happens is when you pull off the road or something, you've got like a mile and a half for food and a mile and a half for
Mm-hmm.
gas in the opposite directions. But what the
Mm-hmm.
Northeast figured out is, hey, people need both of these at the same time on the highway. So they just genuinely put them together on the side of the highway. And now you can solve both
Yes.
things and go to the bathroom, which is another big thing.
So, yes, it is very convenient. And you're talking about, specifically, I don't know, specifically, I recognize them from the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
Yeah, so they have them
Um,
like New Jersey,
mhm.
Pennsylvania, New York, even. And they're all the way up through like 95 and 287, sorry.
Mhm.
And they just have them all the way along because that makes sense.
Yeah. When I was driving back and forth from Virginia to Pittsburgh,
Mhm.
I would stop in West Virginia and get my gas because the gas on the turnpike was so
It
expensive.
is very expensive. It is.
Because that's the only place you can get gas.
That's
so they
it.
know that you can like hike it up.
Yep.
So I would try to avoid that as best I
Yeah.
could. But I definitely like if I needed to
Yeah.
stop, I would stop. And
Yeah.
it was nice to have a bathroom and like a non-sketchy place to eat. And
Yes. And you're
it's
surrounded
always
by other
convenient.
people, so
Mhm,
you're not just
mhm.
in Podunk, wherever. I will say, if you are traveling through New Jersey and you're driving, just note you cannot pump your own gas. Do not get out of
Yes.
your car. They have literal licenses for it.
I'm gonna tell you a
Of course you
story.
can. Yes, please.
All right. So,
Derailing.
shout out to Caroline Shepherd. We let's see. I had graduated college and was living in Pittsburgh, and I convinced Caroline to come and live with me as well.
Right. Yes.
So we're living close together. We weren't living like in the same building, but we were living like close. And she was like, "Hey, do you want to go to this K-pop concert in New York in Brooklyn?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And this was the
Sure.
first one we ever went to. And she was like, "Great, it's on this day." And I'm like, "Great, sounds good." I actually have to move out the day after the concert. So like
Perfect.
she was like, "That's fine. We'll just drive to New York. we'll do the concert, and then we'll drive home, and then we'll be able to meet your parents in time to like pack up all your stuff and then move you out. It'll be great. It'll be fine.
Easy.
And right. So we drive the like 6 hours from Pittsburgh to Brooklyn.
Keep that in mind, listener. 6 hours just to get one way on this journey.
We park our car in this like weird parking garage that was included with the tickets. We bought parking with the tickets, but it was very weird because it was like one of those ones where you just drop your car off in the front with this weird guy, and he like valet parks it for you because there's so many weird spots.
Lots. Yeah.
Okay. And so we get rid of the car. Shout out to my car, Janice, which was a Subaru Outback, and the best car I've ever owned. Don't tell my Tesla. And we walk to the concert. We do the concert. All that went well. We get the car back, and I am driving. It's like 11 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. I am driving through Midtown Manhattan at 11 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. I almost get hit by like 3 cab drivers.
Honestly, that's normal in New York.
Have a small panic attack.
Also normal.
And then continue on the highway out of New York, get into New Jersey, realize I need gas. Mm-hmm. Pull into this random ass gas station with like nobody else around. Mm-hmm. And there's a guy standing at the pump in New Jersey.
Yep.
And I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, what's going on? Because I didn't know at the time.
You're just stalking the gas station.
You have to like, so that you have to like, you can't pump your own gas in New Jersey. I thought it was like some kind of rumor or something. I didn't know that it was real.
So true.
And so this guy gets out, like, asks me to open the like flap thing. I get out of my car thinking that like I didn't know what I just got out of my car out of habit. Right. And I'm like, oh, thank you for pumping my gas. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, why do you have to do this? And he was like, oh, because someone caught a gas station on fire one time, and so they made it a law in New Jersey that you can't pump your own gas. You can't be trusted to do it. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Okay.
Is so
and meanwhile, it's like 1 a.m. right? And
this guy's like, don't ask me stupid questions at 1 a.m.
Right. Nobody else is around. I'm nervous that something terrible is going to happen. Caroline's in the car. Like, and then I'm like, am I supposed to tip this guy? Like, what's the protocol for this?
Right.
And so anyway, everything worked out. I got my gas. We paid for the gas, and then got back on the turnpike towards Pittsburgh. Yeah. It's 3 a.m. I'm like falling asleep at the wheel. I'm like, Caroline, you need to try and drive some. She takes over. We get back to Pittsburgh. We sleep for like 2 hours, and then my parents show up, pack up all of my stuff, and then we drive all the way home to Virginia.
Which is hellish and such a stupid idea between the two of you. And Caroline, I said it, I meant it, I love you so much. Y'all are so dumb. So dumb. Asking this poor man at 1 a.m. the laws of New Jersey gas.
I mean, he should know. That's his job.
This whole existence at that gas station. Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
that's my story.
Honestly, full convenience. Somebody pumping it for you. Tyler hates it. He's like, I will not stop.
I hate it too.
In New Jersey.
I know.
Yeah.
It's awful. Like, I just need to be in control of my life. Like, I can't.
It doesn't bother me at all. I don't have to get out. I just open the thing and they're like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, go. I just to fill her up.
Well, yeah, I don't like it. I'm with Tyler on this one.
Well, I hope everyone else enjoyed the story. And I also hope everybody else enjoyed the convenience store episode. And like we've been saying this entire time, I would love to know, even if you're from, not America, if you're from a different country and you have one of these convenience stores or your own convenience stores, even if they're not with gas, it's totally fine. We'd love to know what your favorite is and like what your favorite snack is and what your experience there is, because it's probably different across the board, I think. And you can do that by sending us an email at mediocrecontentpodcast@gmail.com. You can also connect with us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. They're all at Mediocre Content Podcast. There's tons of ways to connect, so do that. We're not on Twitter anymore or X or whatever, so don't come there. We're not updating that. On Twitch though, if you do want to come hang out with us live, it's 3 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. EST, or 11 p.m. BST. Any of those will do, just depending on what time zone you're in. And if you're in a different one, I don't know how to help you. And then 5 stars all around, please. And thank you. You're so wonderful. Appreciate it.
5 stars.
Please.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening to our thoughts and feelings about the convenience stores. And we hope you have a good week.
See y'all later.
Cheers.
Cheers.